September 2019. Thought of getting yet another bird. Elizabeth. Elizabeth, I think we should get Pear a girlfriend, and Bluey can be their best friend, because he bit Pear until he bled, my mom elucidated. She had a point, and the pain in my spine worsened from scoliosis. I didn't need to argue back. Besides, if the cockatiels were together, I could spend more time with Bluey. I hope nothing bad happens. I think so too, and we just went to Omar's Exotic Birds last week. We could go there again like Ashlyn and get her already tamed. The only con I could think of from getting her from there was that it wasn't I, myself, who tamed her, unlike how you trained Bluey and Pear. However, if I spent time with her, she shouldn't be too afraid of me. Bluey flew onto my head, making it a blur on whether he approved of this idea or not, but either way, nothing was going to stop me from loving this new baby. No at all. More poop could be a reason. Me. No, everyone poops, so it won't be too bad. I pulled out my phone to tell my followers about this news and got comments such as, OMJ, hope she'll bond well with everyone, and post a pic of her when you get her. Having such support lightened my point of view. I went to the place again. I saw numerous cockatiels in both the to be sold bin and sold bin. How on earth do they get so many of them? Those in the to be sold one looked only a few weeks old, and as a bird mom, I had no problem of attracting most of them just from the presence of my hand in it. I could just imagine that if they were humans, they'd be saying, "Move over, she's mine, I want to go home." A million years passed until they finished fighting for first place and one cleared the winner. This one looked a lot like Pear, though smaller, and it had light orange cheeks with a very triangular pattern in the back. This is the one. My mom brought Pear over, and once their eyes met, he began singing and dancing like there was no tomorrow. Bluey. Elizabeth, I think we should get Pear a girlfriend, and Bluey can be their best friend because he bit Pear until he bled, Elizabeth's mom suggested. Elizabeth thought with her chin in her hand as my head began to spin with images flashing consisting of Pear and his mate. The moment of truth. Am I passing out? Back to Elizabeth. Please say no. Please say no. Please say. I think so too, and we just went to Omar's Exotic Birds last week. Why did she agree? No at all. Well, budgies with mates aren't very nice to their owners for the most part, while it's a whole nother story with cockatiels. Me. I'm going to lose my crush. I'm going to lose my best friend because of some new bird. I shall do whatever I have to do when she gets here. I know you're angry right now, but it's not like we can do anything about it. We may not become more than best friends, but we will never fall apart. Sure, you're such a traitor. I flew onto Elizabeth's head, trying to convince her it wasn't such an outstanding idea. Afterwards, her mom took him away, leaving me alone with Bubbles again. I was going to confuse him as to who I shall stay with. Is everyone forgetting me? Am I not important anymore when I was the very first bird to come into this household? Man, it really is the end of attention for me, huh? The bird didn't come yet, so I shouldn't lose hope just yet. Perhaps with this new bird, Elizabeth will spend more time with me, maybe even more than she does now. Pear. Elizabeth, I think we should get Pear a girlfriend, and Bluey can be their best friend because he bit Pear until he bled, Elizabeth's mom said out of the blue. What should I think? Yes or no? I do miss being more than one bird since I've been by myself for a very long time, but would that be going against Bluey? Speaking of him, what does he think of it? He was an only bird for most of his life, which could explain his selfishness. I think so too, and we just went to Elmer's Exotic Birds last week. That settled it then. I noticed Bluey looking down upon his perch, or something lower than his usual gaze, probably from this heartbreaking information, so I decided to help him out. I know you're angry right now, but it's not like we can do anything about it. We may not become more than best friends, but we will never fall apart. Sure, you're such a traitor. No at all. Don't push the conversation further. I know, Bluey. I just don't know what I should do. I couldn't choose both, though, could I? Is that a viable option? Is it allowed? What if jealousy is involved, not only regarding the fact that a new bird was coming to town, but also the division between friend love and romantic love? The division was full of emotions, actions, and hate toward one another. Please don't let it go toward hate. I don't want to deal with it, nor become the victim, but in all honesty, it compared to watching it happen as a third grader, were equally terribly mentally. This was to be the most difficult decision I had made in my life so far, and how I was to respond to such a request could create a lasting impact on me and my well being.